Alrighty. We should now be live. Welcome everyone to today's session. Friday website teardowns are back and you love it. So we've taken a couple of weeks off just to allow the digital marketing world to catch up. So they've had a bit of time and now it's time to rip into some sites. We've been sent over some fantastic sites. For those who don't know how these sessions work, every Friday, 10:30 UK time on YouTube, I'll be dissecting, reverse engineering websites and digital marketing campaigns that are submitted. These can either be yours or they can be your competitors. If you've got that competitor that you're like, I just can't figure out how they're doing what they're doing, or you just want to see how much business are they going to be getting, then submit your site. We've dropped the, there's like a questionnaire thing that you can put your submissions into. And if you want to nominate them for this session or a future one. So we're going to get started and we've got a lot of sites to go through today. Some of the sites that we're going to be looking at today, we've got e-commerce, we've got solicitors, we've got legal, a local firm but actually should be targeting nationally. We've got cakes and an interesting challenge for a cake business where they offer products for sale but also they do custom orders as well. And we've got a drain unblocking initiative, kind of interesting, and also some throwback and homage t-shirts as well. So lots to get through today. We've got about an hour scheduled, so yeah, feel free if you've got any questions, drop them in the chat window, and do of course let me know whether or not you can hear me. That's always reassuring. I think you can. Okay, great. So the first site, let me just share the screen and then we'll get stuck in. Let's just check that we're all lined up properly. We are not lined up properly. So like I say, if you've got any comments, if you've got any feedback or suggestions about the sites that we're looking at as we go, then do stick them in the channel. We have a lot of really savvy, bright marketers tune into these, and it's great to get your take on what these businesses could be doing better. So do get them in if you see anything. Great, so hopefully you now should be able to see the screen. Got a totally new setup today, so I'm a bit like, where is everything? Right, there we go. Dale says, where can I get an Exposure Ninja t-shirt? Well, that is the question. That is the question. 2021 is the answer. Okay, first site we're looking at today, the Regency Chess Company. Really interesting e-commerce site. I think this is one of our viewers' competitors. So if you are in the chess space, this is going to be interesting. If you're not in the chess space, well, there's still a lot to learn from this site. There's some stuff this site is doing really well. There's some stuff this site is really not doing that well. So let's start with the website first, and then we're going to look at how they're driving traffic. First impressions on the website. Yeah. We've got this little starburst at the top, says established 2008. I'm not sure if that's when the business was established or when this website was designed, but it's probably, if we were going to be really polite, we'd say this is probably going to be thinking about a redesign in the next 12 to 18 months. With a little nudge to say redesign might be fairly important. It's a reasonable looking site because the imagery carries it, but some of the stylistic stuff is really old fashioned looking now. So, you know, some of these fades, this is what we were using in like 2014, and that is an eternity in web development. So it's time to make this thing look awesome, basically. And right, so let's have a look. So it's clearly luxury side of things, the world's finest quality chess sets, very straightforward USP, we can understand that. The design of this thing, our biggest ever sale, I mean, it just looks terrible, if I'm honest. Considering this is a luxury product, people are going to be judging the business on design, and they're going to be judging the website on design, and I mean, yeah. There's really no excuses here. Now, one of the things that this site does pretty well is it's actually got a lot of the elements, the high conversion elements that we would want to see on an e-commerce site. For example, everywhere you go, you've got these little nudges for dispatch today, for next day delivery, that type of thing. Really useful tool from an e-commerce site because actually there is really no rush to buying something online, right? You don't have to do it today. You could do it tomorrow. But this little ticking clock, you're like, oh, get dispatched today. Right? It just gives you a reason to make that purchase. Yeah, okay. Let's have a look at their buyer funnel, right? So let's say I'm going to buy my first good quality chess set. Where do I go from here? So I've got these different product categories, each with images. The question I would have is there any other way that we could help people make this decision? Wooden chess set? Well, that looks like Staunton chess set. What's the difference? Is a luxury Staunton chess set made out of wood? Like, how do I... Maybe just getting started, take the quiz, find the perfect chess set for you. What I can see from this is that there are like hundreds of products for me to choose from. As a first-time buyer, I might not feel necessarily qualified to do this, and I might feel like, overwhelming, right? It's the TK Maxx thing. You walk in, you're like, nah, give me the curation piece. Nevertheless, let's just say I like the look of this one because of the colour of the border or whatever. And now I'm on this page. So this is luxury Staunton chess sets. There's no introductory text at the top of the page, but we do have some explanation stuff at the bottom of the page. However, it's not relevant to this product category. This is the history of chess, roots in the 17th century. Right, this is SEO copy. There's no other reason for this to be here. There is absolutely no reason for this content to be here other than to rank. So I'm not going to criticize them based on that. Absolutely, we would do exactly the same. But what they could do, they do have a chess set finder. Let's get that in the menu. What they could do is just give a little bit of explanation about what a luxury Staunton chess set is for those of us who are too ignorant to know this. Okay. Right, let's just click on one of these products. High clear ebony and walnut chess set. Okay, it looks beautiful. There's a lot going well on this product page. We've got good quality product photography. It's in reasonably high resolution. We could possibly expand the product window. What I'm not convinced of is that we need this massive product menu on the side of the page. We've got that at the top of the page anyway, so I'd be tempted to shift this along and expand the images here. We've got this constant nudge thing going on, which I absolutely love with the scarcity. We've got order now to receive this tomorrow, which plays onto people's I want it now thing. We've got the refund policy there. We've got credibility with the reviews, and it looks like they're Trustpilot reviews, which is third party, which is going to have more credibility. Like, I love loads of this. I really do. We've got some text, not a huge amount of text here, and we've even got a video of it. Okay, I mean, as a product page, it doesn't look, the design isn't stunning, but as a product page, it's got everything that you possibly want. It's got benefits. Yes, they could be in a benefits bar along the top here, but it's pretty good. We've got massive credibility with these Trustpilot reviews, over 2,000 reviews, trust score of 4.9. You can't really go wrong here. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So no complaints about that at all. The next thing that we're going to do is we're just going to have a look at their content strategy. So see if there's a blog. There is. And then we are going to have a look at their visibility. Right, so this blog is exactly the sort of blog you don't... Well, it's a combination of the sort of blog you don't want and the sort of blog you do want. So... Regency Chess USA is now live. That is not a blog post. That might be a news piece if you absolutely need it to, but in all honesty, very few people care. Job vacancy, e-commerce channel manager. This is not something to put on your blog. This is it for a job section on the site if you need it at all, but you're probably going to advertise for jobs on job sites anyway. So certainly people searching for jobs aren't going to be hunting through your blog. Right. So, and there's a lack of strategy with their with their blog post topics. So you know the deal. If you've been following Exposure Ninja, you know the deal. We're looking for blog posts which are basically answering top customer questions, targeting things like 5th wedding anniversary gifts for husband. That's going to be quite competitive. I might go for something like gift ideas for computer game fans, gift ideas for chess fans, you know, stuff like that, where you could try and find people that are already into chess or find people that are in topics which might be related. So I don't know whether like World of Warcraft or something is an indication that somebody might be into chess, but you could survey your customers, find out what their common interests are, run some gift guides on those types of things, which would be less competitive, give you a better sense of where you're going, and then ranking for chess prodigies and high profile chess people. That might be a good thing to do as well. Okay, so this feels a little bit kind of confused. Let's go and have a look at their visibility. So Dorian says, can I show you my company's website and tell me what to change? Yes, Dorian, if you stick it in that form that we've linked to in the live chat, then I will check that before the end of this video and we'll analyze anybody in there who is new. Okay, let's have a look at their rankings. So we've got some visibility. We're using SEMRUSH, which is our favorite competitor analysis tool. We've got some visibility in the US. We've got some visibility in the UK. This is the UK site, so we're just going to be checking to see what's going on in the UK today. We like that traffic trend. That is the sort of shape traffic trend that we like to see. So let's have a look at which phrases they're ranking for in organic first of all. So in the organic research section in SEMRUSH, as you can probably see, it basically shows us all the keywords that they're ranking for with the position on Google, the percentage of traffic for that, the percentage of their traffic that is expected to be coming from that term, and we can see search volume as well for that term as well. These are all approximate, but the position tracking is pretty good. We can also see cost per click, so how much people are willing to spend to advertise for these phrases, which gives us an indication about how profitable these phrases might be if you were targeting them. So what can we see from this? We can see that they are ranking really, 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 really well. Possibly this is going to be the best ranking chess site in the UK. Chessboard, number 1 on Google. Chess Set, number 1. Chessboard Setup, number 1. We're going to come back to that in a minute. Chess Setup, number 1. Chess Pieces, number 2. Want to get ranking for that because I'm imagining people are going to be buying different sets of chess pieces for the same chessboard, potentially. So need to improve the visibility of that. We'll come back to that later on. So then we've got some specific types of chess set. Isle of Lewis chess set. Marble chess set, backgammon board, position number 2. Like this is a great ranking site. There's no two ways about it. This is ranking really well. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, Mar. This is like, you see the site, you're like, no way. But some of these sites, this is a classic example of some of these sites which did a lot of really great stuff in like 2010s. They picked up a lot of visibility and there hasn't been enough reason to knock them off top spot. Like you'll see there's very little branded traffic here. Right, we're not looking at Regency. I can't see Regency terms anywhere around here. So this isn't people searching for them. This is just people finding a site which kind of does the job and Google hasn't seen enough reason to knock them off. So yeah, quite interesting to have a look at their link profile in just a minute to see why they're doing so well here, because this is pretty interesting. Okay, I did say we were going to go back to some of these pages. In particular, I want to have a look at Chessboard Setup. Obviously, this is quite a high informational term. Doesn't necessarily indicate someone's going to be a good customer for this because, you know, if you're learning how to set up a chessboard, you're probably not going to be spending 500 quid on a beautiful wooden chess set. But let's have a look at the page that they've got ranking here and actually think, this is the makings of a really good content strategy for them. Now, I've got one big problem about this site, and that is the URL structure. I don't know if you can see the URL. Let me just drag that down a little bit. So the URL of this page is regencychess.co.uk/how to set up a chessboard. And that's one of the things that you notice going through this site, is that every single page on the site is basically goes back to this homepage. There are no folders for example, chess sets. So the ideal kind of structure for a page like this would be regencychess.co.uk/chess sets /Staunton or whatever, and then you've got products. And what you're doing there is you're building authority to these category pages. Whereas at the moment, when you click through to an individual product, all that authority is kind of going back to the homepage. There's no, you know, it's not properly It's not properly organized. So it's a bit of a shame, and it means that their chess sets page, although it might be ranking really well, which is a difficult thing. When you see a site like this and it's ranking really well, it's tough to give SEO feedback, but it's not perfect. So if I was going to be going up against this, these would be some of the things that I'd be wanting to get right. Okay, anyway, back to their content strategy. How to set up a chessboard. Okay, fine, this is a good thing. This gives you a little snippet for what the perfect content strategy could be for this business. This business could potentially be the UK's top chess magazine or the world's top chess magazine with an e-commerce site built on the back end. Because what that's going to do, at the moment, we're doing well if someone's searching for, I want to buy a chess set. What if we could get regular chess players coming to this site on a frequent basis for tips, for lessons with chess influencers or whatever, and then we show them, oh look, here's a beautiful chessboard, or they're doing some tutorial and it's on one of these chessboards. Well, then all of a sudden we're getting conversions, we're getting sales from people who didn't know that they wanted this. So that would be how I'd be looking to take this to the next level. Like if we bought this site, that's what we'd be wanting to do. We'd be wanting to give chess players all around the world a reason to keep coming back to this site so that we could then sell them, rather than just being here for people who happen to be looking. So that's the kind of next step, and we can see the potential here with this blog post and how much traffic it's driving to the site. The fact that that post, well, it's not a blog post, it's just like a guide or something, but that post is their third and fourth biggest keywords. That's the post that's driving those. So that's the kind of next level strategy. Once you start getting good visibility for these sorts of commercial terms, then it's time to really turn the screw. Let's see if we can absolutely gobble up all the chess related traffic that we possibly can. Okay, before we move on to the next site, we just want to have a quick look at advertising and see what sort of PPC they're doing here. No. Right, it doesn't look like they're doing very much. Let's have a look and see if they're doing any... They're not doing any paid ads at all. Now, this could be just because they're absolutely smashing it and they're running out of places to stash the money. But I suspect if they wanted to double their sales this Christmas, that actually doing some Google shopping ads wouldn't be a bad place to start. They're about right price-wise. We've got a whole range of different prices that they could be pushing at. They could be going for text ads. We've got Etsy with an ad here, and we've got some others, but actually Wayfair, not on the high street, and Etsy, I wouldn't say are particularly strong competitors for something like this. A dedicated chess site is going to be much more likely to get those conversions. So I'd be going pretty heavily into this type of thing. No reason not to at all. So that would be next level for them. And then, of course, there's all sorts of remarketing, retargeting stuff that could be done. So great start for this business, but I'd say there's another 20%, 30% to be picked up. And then once they start picking up this content strategy, then that is when they take things to another level completely. So if you're competing with them, yes, they're going to be really annoying, but guess what? They're not going to be insurmountable. Someone is going to beat them in chess eventually by doing these things. Okay. All good. Let's... This must be Mark on the live chat with the puns. Right. Let's have a look at the next example. This is Goschalk Solicitors. Goschalk Solicitors, what do we think about this site first of all? Drop in any feedback that you have. I think we're on a pretty massive delay, so there's like a 2-minute delay between me showing you something and me seeing the comments. So yeah, I'm not going to wait for the comments. It's going to be a very boring 2 minutes. The challenge I'm seeing here is this is obviously a solicitor's firm. I don't know where their location is above the fold. They've got different types of legal services that they offer. This is fairly common problem in that we've got like a B2B thing, we've got a B2C offering, and it's about how we position those above the fold. How we don't put off the person who is looking for a conveyancing solicitor by showing them stuff about retailers and supermarkets. Because if I'm looking for a conveyancer, as soon as I see this, I'm like, completely wrong site. As soon as you're showing me these supermarket pictures, I'm like, I'm in the wrong place. Drop me out. So this is the big challenge that they've got to overcome. I would be much more inclined, rather than going for something like this, which is scrolling through, I'd be much more inclined to be a bit safer here and just say in a sentence what this business does and for who, right? There's no need to be all fancy with this. Unless a large percentage of your customers are retailers and supermarkets, this is only going to suppress conversions for the rest. So we want to be careful about not suppressing conversions for the people that are actually landing on the site. And guess what? How many people visiting this site are going to be supermarket legal teams, right? It's going to be minimal. So yeah, a little bit pointless. That's the first challenge. They've phrased personal law as for you, which... yeah, it's okay. I mean, this whole thing feels like a branding agency has been at it, which isn't, it's certainly not the worst outcome that you could get from working with a branding agency. Whether there's like a personal and family law type phrase, which makes a bit more sense to people, not too sure. But okay, let's keep going down the page. So get plain speaking, jargon-free advice today. Call or email us for a no obligation chat. Not a bad call to action. Can make it easier by actually having the form on this page so people don't have to click through and go through another step. If I'm ready, I'm ready. Other than that, we've got case studies, testimonials. Another thing that might be, you might have some, you might say business clients that trust us. We also have just a little disclaimer here as well. We also work on personal law, something like that. That's something that we've done in the past just to let people know that it's not only ASDA that we work for. We also work for Mr. and Mrs. Morrison at 34 Cherry Tree Farm, whatever. You get the gist of it. We've got something broken in the bottom of the page there. All right, not too bad. The next thing I would suggest is they need a drop-down menu here, because there's going to be different sections under commercial law, which should be all picking up internal links from every other page on the site. Because there's no drop down, they're not, which is a bit of a problem. So all of these should be featured as drop down, so people can very quickly, what you don't want to do, if someone's looking for insolvency law, for example, you don't want them to have to categorize themselves and then click. You want them to be immediately able to hover over here and then just click insolvency law. You've just reduced their number of clicks by 1, which is 50%. And the other thing that you're not doing is you're not forcing them to scroll down past this massive picture of what looks like a swimming pool changing room area in order to find out whether you're even relevant for them, right? You're just getting them to the information much quicker. So it's a little thing that actually makes a massive difference to user experience and will significantly increase the likelihood that someone's actually going to be able to find the page that's relevant for them. Okay, no CTA on this page at all, other than the get in touch thing. So I'll put something right at the top here. Let's go for one of these pages. Insolvency and recovery is always interesting to me. Right, so this isn't a page about insolvency and recovery. This is actually a page about insolvency and recovery law, or insolvency and recovery solicitors. It's a common mistake people make. This would be the page that you'd want to get ranked for insolvency and recovery solicitors, but they're assuming that someone has come through this page through the process that we've just been through. If you're ranking or if you're running ads, unlikely. They're going to come to this page with almost no background information at all. So this page needs to set the scene, and at the moment it doesn't. It's relying on this kind of sequential journey, which in reality, if you look at analytics, never going to happen. Never going to happen. People come in all sorts of ways. They're coming through every different entrance on your site. They're flicking around. They're going to the wrong places. Nightmare. It never happens as the branding agency is telling you. Okay. I mean, what I'm not getting from this is 5 bullet points which tell me why I should contact you, who you're best for. Get in contact now. We need that fast CTA for someone who doesn't have time to read through all of these and click and expand and go through all that type of stuff. We just need it to be very quick. So location is going to be important. Where do you actually serve? None of that here. Reasons I should choose you rather than someone else. Just hit me with some bullet points. Tick, 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 tick. Next step, what am I supposed to do now? That stuff is more important than related posts. So get rid of the related posts if they're only just going to be distracting people and taking them away from the commercial stuff. So a bit of work to be done here. This is a beautiful looking site, but it just hasn't been thought about, excuse me, from a commercial perspective, from a conversion perspective. Blog post, April, July, right? So this, oh no, we are still blogging. Okay, so this is their take on things that are happening. Not much targeting, really. Asbestos, the duties of residential landlords. So there would be another way of phrasing that for residential landlords that have just had a scare about asbestos. It would be something like, I don't know, whatever the residential landlord is going to type. If they're worried about asbestos issues and they want to find out what their issues are, they're probably not going to say asbestos, the duties of a residential landlord. Okay, they're going to be saying something else. So give the blog post that name. There's no reason to mess around. Just call it exactly what people are looking for. Okay, blog URL structure, totally wrong. We've got these dates, which is just basically telling Google that, you know, that these are all deserve to rank in the folder of 2020, which is just, you know, stupid. So this should be topical. Maybe residential landlords could be the blog category, and then you've got a whole bunch of posts that can rank for that. In this blog, we we highlight a number of important issues. Fine. Right, we've got a sort of call to action, but it's got email addresses rather than just having a form. The problem with that is you can't track them. It's it's a good looking site. It's the airhead. It needs conversion optimization. Really looks good though. Right, let's have a look at their visibility. So over in SEMRUSH, we're going to be having a look at their UK visibility, obviously, and we're going to have a look first at their organic visibility, then we're going to have a look at PPC. Not much point looking at social media for solicitors firms. I know every solicitors firm wants to be having 1,000 million followers on Facebook and Instagram. It just ain't going to happen. That's not what we are going to social media for. Or if you are blowing up on social media, then something very interesting is happening. This is going to be something where people are searching for it, so that's where we want to be seen. We want to be seen on Google. So estimated traffic, let's just expand this out a little bit, see how they've been doing over time. Okay, so we've been pretty steady since the start of 2017, which possibly maybe a new site launch or something like that. Let's have a look at the phrases that they're ranking for then. Goschalk, Solicitor's Hull, position 2, reasonable search volume there. Wayleave, position 11. So that's when I think that's when somebody wants to lay a cable over your property or something like that. So that's potentially a legal topic. Ranking for Sam Thompson. Now, I don't think that's the Sam Thompson that's getting 22,000 searches a month. Asda login. I don't think that's the Asda login that people, 135,000 searches a month. So what we get from this is we get that they're not particularly intentional about the phrases that they're ranking for, okay? Which we wouldn't necessarily be surprised by. We wouldn't expect this site to be ranking for a whole lot of stuff because it's not really trying to rank for a whole bunch of stuff. So let's have a look and see what we could be ranking for here. So fatal accident claims. Now, if you're in the claims space, you look at that sort of phrase and you're like, there's big money there. For the rest of us, we see that and we're like, that's obviously a terrible thing to happen and a horrible thing for anyone who's even going to be searching for that. They've obviously been through something horrific. From a marketing perspective, there is gold in that term. And again, I don't want to be, this isn't being cruel, this is just how business works. And if we think about it, I'm not going to stick up for claims, ambulance chasing, all that sort of accusation of throwing at these businesses. They're there to hold companies accountable within the framework of the law. So fatal accident claims, position 3, only 210 searches a month, but £10 a click, because any leads from that are going to be very valuable. So let's have a look and see what page is ranking for that. Couple of different angles that we might take with something like this. Fatal accident, a guide to what you can claim. Okay, so let's update this and let's get this first sentence actually making sense. That would be a great start. Then we need a call to action that's better than that. I mean, yeah, you're ranking position 3 for this. Like, fatal accident claims is going to be a term that is heavily contested by ruthlessly optimized CRO lead gen beasts. We need to be doing a better job than this. So what we'd really want is we'd want a dedicated page about accident claims, then we'd want a sub-page underneath that might be fatal accident claims, and it's all about here's how the process works, here are some examples of people who've been through this, here's the next step to take. And I would do that, if I was this business, I would do that for pretty much every different case which they get a decent volume of or there's high value for. It's the sort of thing that very few law firms do. Legal lead gen companies will do it because that's how they make their money. They then sell those leads back to the law firms that can't figure out how to do it themselves. And, you know, that's how that whole industry works. So there's better ways to do that. That shows potential, but it also shows untapped potential with the page that's ranked for it. Okay, so need to improve visibility. There is no two ways about it. This is a site that should be targeting nationally, but at the moment, it's not quite there yet. Let's have a look and see what sort of links they've got coming through to the site. And we can talk about some different link building strategies. There's loads and loads that's going on at the moment, which taps in really nicely to this type of thing. So it looks like we've got some review sites. We've got some directory type sites. Yeah, mostly directory type sites. Yeah, okay. So this to me doesn't necessarily look like a site that has particularly worked on links. How would we build sites to a site? How would we build links to a site like this in order to improve its ranking? Loads of things that you could do. Firstly, writing really in-depth guides, like the ultimate guide to asbestos for landlords or something like that. That's going to naturally pick up links from landlord type, property type publications. It's just going to pick them up because often they'll need to cite some kind of legal expertise if they're writing, let's say Property News is writing a story about asbestos that's been found in whatever, and they need to cite some sort of legal expert. Well, they're going to type in like landlord asbestos guide or something, landlord asbestos law, and if you've written the ultimate guide to that, you're going to get those links. So things like that will just pick up links because they are the authority and people can cite them because you're an expert. Other ways of getting links would be doing things like conducting surveys of their clients. So if they've got a lot of supermarkets and retailers, for example, as their clients, what sort of survey could they do of those clients, which they could then take to the media? So we might be talking about Brexit. We might be talking about supermarkets and retailers worried about the impact of the upcoming Brexit deadline. What's going to happen? 58% of supermarkets are, you know, getting ready to set fire to all their stock because they don't know what's going to happen. You know, this type of thing, it's very difficult to do that research. But if you've got a whole bunch of clients in that space and you could just fire out a quick email and get some feedback, happy days. Let's do that. So that's the sort of thing I'd be looking at for this type of business. And then, of course, you've got answering top questions that people are going to have, writing blog posts, that type of thing, and then going out to other publications that have talked about those topics in the past. So there's loads that they could be doing for links, and if I'm competing with this, I'm going heavy on those sort of angles. Let's have a look at their Google ads, and then we're going to move on to the next site, which is Cakes. I'm hungry. Okay, what sort of ads have we been running? Not very much. Okay, Goschalks Hull, Goschalks Solicitors, Western Power Distribution, Wayleave Payments, Wayleave Compensation Forums. Okay, so probably they've been running ads on their own brand name, which is those three, and then Wayleave as a broad match, and it's been picking up this stuff because, yeah, whatever. So, not convinced by this at all. Really. But then on the other side of things, would you be driving a lot of paid traffic to a site where the conversion optimization was accidental at best? Possibly not. So I think the easiest thing to do would be do a quick refresh of some of these page layouts, get the CRO pieces in there, then start running some ads quite aggressively in Hull to begin with, and then you can start to expand out once you've exhausted the visibility in Hull. But if I'm competing against this, I'm not put off by the beauty of this site. I'm going hard. My goal is to crush them into the ground. Yeah, that's how we go with that one. Okay, yes, and a great comment in the Exposure Ninja channel by the Ninja, I think it's Mark, says write an impartial guide, not just a promotional piece. A lot of people will write the ultimate guide and make it just basically an advertorial for their business. And this is the same when they're writing content for other sites. They'll think, great, you know, Property Week has agreed or Legal Week has agreed to post an article that we're writing. Let's see how much self-promotional stuff we can get in there. But that's not the angle to take, because firstly, they're not going to publish it, and secondly, anyone who reads that is going to discredit it. It's like when you read, I don't know if you read the Times, but there's often these like supplements or an advertorial page, and it looks totally different to all the content around it, like different font, all of that sort of stuff. It's got this horrible banner, like paid promotion at the top, and then it starts by talking, you know, says like, Barclays head of corporate affairs says, and you're like, this thing immediately loses all credibility because it just feels like an ad. It's like, you know, someone has turned up to class. There's that great meme of that old dude with a backwards cap and a skateboard, and he's like, what's up, kids? And it's like, you're clearly not a child, you're like 40, and it's like that, like someone's 40 but they've got that hat with a little spinning wheel on top and they're sitting in the classroom trying to be a kid. You're like, no one is buying that. So if it's too self-promotional, it loses all credibility and you get high bounce rate, low conversion rate. Okay, your expertise is the value. All right, let's look at this business, which I freaking love. This is Tiny Sarah's Cakes. And when I first landed on the site, I wasn't like, is it Sarah who's tiny or is it the cakes that are tiny? I'm glad to report that the cakes are not tiny. Sarah's size is yet to be confirmed. So the question Sarah had was, if I'm selling through my shop and I'm also selling bespoke, how do I kind of do that? How do I get this balance between, it's basically custom products and off-the-shelf products? And it's a great question. The answer is essentially that you are both a lead generation business and an e-commerce business. Okay, this is fairly typical amongst a lot of sites. I'm thinking of, we often get clients that sell particularly higher end products and they'll have a selection of stuff on their site to sell, but in reality, most people who come through are looking for a bespoke version of something that they've seen, in which case the product pages are actually lead generators for the business. Okay, so they look like product pages, they've got the elements of the product page, but then there's a secondary call to action which says, if you want a version of this, or if you want a bespoke version of this, fill in your details here, and then there's a lead capture form underneath. Okay, so that might be what we're looking at here. Headline, epic vegan cakes that feed your belly and nourish your soul. Sarah, I'm in. Looks good. I mean, I think the thing that's great about this is the branding. I'm not convinced about this menu that just kind of seems to be sticking with a bit of a gap behind. Let me just refresh the page and see. It does appear to be an issue. Free delivery on cake boxes. The one thing I would say is I've got no idea how delivery works. So I'm recording this from Nottingham. Can I get these cakes? I'm not sure. I'm based in Reading, Berkshire, but I deliver crazy cakes over the UK. Okay, great. Good. Okay, that's good to know. I'd probably get that as a benefits bar along the top. What are the top questions people are going to have? How long does delivery take? Where can I get them delivered? How much is it going to cost? Is my cake going to arrive upside down, pulped by the idiot Hermes driver that throws it over the wall and it smashes into 1,000 pieces, and you know that. So these are going to be the questions that people have. So those are the questions that we need to answer. Next thing, menu structure. Not convinced at all. So this might need a bit of working, right? Christmas, weddings. You don't sell weddings, you don't sell Christmas. The shop thing is at the back. So what are we doing here? Is this where I buy Christmas cakes? So I can get the Christmas cakes, wedding cakes, but then the shop there. I wonder if you could do something really simple, right? Cake shop as your top menu. Underneath that, wedding cakes, Christmas cakes, birthday cakes. It's Friday, I really want a cake, right? Then, instead of inquire now, which is a little bit strange, it might be bespoke cakes, custom cakes, whatever that term is. So I wonder about how we can get into the customers' heads and just give them really straightforward options. At the moment, if I want to buy a Christmas cake, where do I go? Christmas, inquire now, or shop? Not too sure. So I'd make it super, super, super simple. The other thing I'd suggest is your personality is amazing. I would get you. Oh, right, you are Tiny Sarah. Okay, great. I'm also a mermaid, live with 2 cats. Awesome. Where are the cats? So I'd get more of you across the site. People are often scared that if they put themselves on the site, it makes the business look small. The business looks small. Let's get you on the site, right? So this is good. This is good. I like it. Get your put. Oh, whoa. Okay. This is one of these website reviews that immediately results in an order. Okay, let's go to the Christmas page. I'm a bit of a fan of Christmas cakes. So Christmas cakes. So let's give this a title. This is vegan, right? This is vegan Christmas cakes, or buy vegan Christmas cakes online. As cheesy as that sounds, like if we can get ranking #1 for that term, oh, you're gonna have a good Christmas. So we need to be doing that. This is then going to be the landing page that people come through for that term. So we need to be going through those objections that people might have in the benefits bar along the top here. Oh, yummy. Okay. These are good. I love the presentation of these testimonials. What do you think in the chat? Let me know what you think in the chat, because some people will be like, this doesn't look very professional, but for me, this looks so believable because I can see that these are like Facebook messages or iMessages or whatever. So for me, the credibility is massive on these. Love it. I had the peanutty thing once and still can't. That's the sort of thing I would say. Yeah. This is sick. Love it. Your cakes are insane. Love it. Insane vegan Christmas cakes. Let's just go all out. I think part of you really wants to let go and absolutely be yourself, and then part of you is like holding back a little bit and trying to be a bit safe and trying to be a bit like everything else. I would just embrace going full you, see what full Tiny Sarah looks like, go all out. What's the sort of site that would get you being like, get me in? So yeah, let's have a look at some of these pages then. I'm not seeing anything that looks like a Christmas cake, by the way. Not a criticism, an observation. Right, let's look at this page then. So what do we need to know before we're going to order this? Firstly, I don't know how big this thing is at all. No frame of reference whatsoever. No idea of grammage, nothing. So one off, how big is it? I don't know that. I need to know that before I'm going to order. So that's a big question for me. I get some other images, I get a video, you know, whatever you need to do, but this is a really important thing. I'd also get some testimonials here as well, because what I'm going to suggest is that you run some Google Shopping ads. And if you're going to be running Google Shopping ads, this page needs to be self-contained, i.e. this page needs to sell the whole thing, right? So this needs to be vegan Christmas surprise cake box, okay? Remember that. We need to have reviews for this product. If you don't have enough reviews for this product, reviews for the business, get those testimonial screenshots in there. Get a bit of background about Tiny Sarah and your passion for cakes. Like, this page needs to do more. And once this page does more, then you can start running some ads. You can start running some, you know, Instagram ads or whatever. But this page needs to be self-contained. Just going to add it to the cart just in case. Right, let's have a look at your bespoke sales process. Right, this isn't good. Okay, we need to take people through the process. We need to explain how this works. I don't know when I fill this in what's going to happen. I don't know why I'm filling this in. I don't know if I'm even the right person to fill it in. So, hi, welcome to my bespoke cakes page. I make bespoke cakes for people from my studio in Woodley, Berkshire, but I can deliver them across the UK. If you're interested in a bespoke cake for any occasion, fill in the details here. I will get back to you within 1 working day, and we can arrange to have a chat about your cake. We can talk through the different options, timescales, and pricing. There's no obligation to use my, you know, whatever the thing might be, okay? We need to tell people what's going to happen. At the moment, this is just like, you know, when you meet someone at a networking event, they're like, can I have a business card? You're like, who are you? What's going to happen when I give you a business card? We need to do the background stuff that's going to make them like, oh yeah. Because the other thing is, this is a long form. We've got it scrolling down in this window, which I'm also not convinced by, but this is a long form. So what I would probably suggest is you're going to be asking questions like these during the sales process anyway. You probably don't need to ask these questions right here. How many guests are attending? If they don't answer, you're gonna ask them anyway. If it's a Christmas cake, that's gonna be irrelevant anyway. So let's just simplify this a little bit. Name, email, mobile phone, so I can text you when I've replied. I often end up in spam. I don't know. Name, email, optional mobile. If they're not gonna give it, they're not gonna give it. What do you need? That might be as simple as you need to do. Okay, how did you find me? Or where did you find me? If you're using analytics tracking, you should know that. Right. So yeah, cut those fields down, Andy says. Absolutely agree. If the answer doesn't affect how you process the form, the question should be in the form. Boom. If you're not using that question to pre-qualify or disqualify, don't bother. Great. Okay, but the branding, everything makes me just in love with this business. So how are we going to drive traffic to it? Let's have a look at their visibility first of all. Organic visibility first, then we're going to look at paid, then we're going to look at some social stuff. Ooh, interesting. Right, let's see what we got. Small wedding cakes, position 2. Damn, I want to get aggressive on that. Let's have a look and see what we got there. Vegan wedding cake, position 2. Interesting, look at this. Look. Vegan wedding cake. We're not on the weddings page. Why are we not on the weddings page? Because the weddings page isn't about vegan wedding cakes. The weddings page is about wedding cakes. Yeah? Vegan wedding cakes, let's relabel this. This is a much better page. I'm the cute button. Just click on this cute button, love it. I mean, that's not CRO, but that is quirky and cool, and I love it, and I love these cakes, and I'm obsessed by this. Look at that. Amazing. Makes me want to get married again to my cats. This is so sick. This is so good. Right. You're going to get the gig if someone gets on this page. We need to get them on the page, and we need to get a CTA form here. It's like, you want one of these sick wedding cakes at your wedding? You want your entire wedding to be dominated by my awesome cake? Fill in details here. I'll be in touch within 24 hours to talk you through your perfect wedding cake. I deliver across the UK. No point going anywhere else. Tiny Sarah's got your back. Right. Tiny Sarah cakes, little bit of branded terms here. This is the sort of stuff that should be going viral on Insta. Wedding cakes near me, position. Oh, that's interesting. Birthday cakes, Reading. Okay, we've got a blog post ranking there. Eggless cakes. Okay, so we're starting to get some versions of the phrases that people are going to be searching for. This is good. So what we got here, eggless cakes. What else we got? Ugly birthday cakes. Damn. Gluten-free cakes, mini wedding cakes, cake delivery. These are all terms that you've got that drop down here. You've got this drop down here, right? Wedding cakes, vegan wedding cakes, eggless wedding cakes, whatever. Cat wedding cakes, naked wedding cakes, blue wedding cakes with squirrels on the top and gold leaf, cakes with bananas and flowers on. You know, the more category pages you can have for specific terms, the more you're going to start ranking for these phrases. Your engagement once people get on the site is going to be off the chain because your cakes are sick. So it's just about getting in that game. And then I'll be slamming this with ads. I can't believe that you're not going to be run off your feet hiring people. You're not running any ads. I'd run some ads, Sarah. Put a tiny budget into some tiny ads for some big leads. Right, let's have a look at your socials. Okay. These are cool. Look at engagement. Lovely stuff. Love to see it. It's pretty good. So this reminds me of, I can't even remember the name. Is it Please Cakes? Something like that. So what I'd be doing is finding high prominence vegans and bloggers, and I'd be sending them this shit. I've been following you for a while, big fan of your work. Can I send you a Christmas cake with your pet Bob in? Yes you can. send it over, right? No one's going to say no to that. When they get it, they're going to be like, holy crap, this is Insta fodder, posting this all over my stuff, change my profile photo to the Bob. You know, this is going to be a great way to get some visibility and build up this. You're actually followed by the wedding band I used to play in, so I'm guessing that we've done some of the same weddings. Yeah, okay. That's your Instagram game. Let's have a look on Facebook, and also let's have a look at your Facebook ads as well. Oh, Sarah. Yeah, look, people say, yeah, I see it. Okay, I love your personality coming through. This is so sick. Yeah, this is so sick. This is so sick. Let's see what your ads are doing. I hope you've been running ads if you haven't. Tiny, Sarah. Okay, so if you ever want to look at someone's ads, you just go to facebook.com/ads/libraries. The stupid thing about this is when you land on this page, it looks like they're not running any ads because it defaults to issues, elections, or politics, when obviously Tiny Sarah's not going to be talking about that. Okay, turns out Tiny Sarah's not going to be talking about anything in ads, so she's not running any ads. So paid traffic is where I go next. The other thing I would do, and this is not a this is a little bit of a marketing thing, but the other thing I would do is think about pricing. Right? Let's see if I can find some of your actual cakes. Because I don't know about you guys, £69 is a chunk of money for a cake, but I've also know every time I've tried to make something, and it hasn't happened much, last time I tried to make marshmallow, I think it cost me about 15 quid to make a tray of inedible marshmallow. So I know that it's not cheap to make this stuff. And I also know that at whatever party you're at, that is going to dominate conversation. I think that's more than a £69 thing. So I'm wondering if your passion for the business is meaning that you're not charging enough. So can we test something? Can you test putting up a £300 birthday cake? It's going to do two things. Firstly, some people are going to order it, and then you're going to go, holy crap, people are willing to spend a lot more than 70 quid on a cake. The other thing it's going to do, three things. The other thing it's going to do is it's going to excite people who want the best of the best of the best. They're going to be like, whoa. You can even take it to a PR side of things, right? Make the world's most insane cake. Make the highest calorie cake the world has ever seen. The highest calorie vegan cake the world has ever seen. It's going to be like the size of a bathtub, and it's going to cost $5.5 grand, and it's going to get press. Because vegans are going to be like, what? I would trade my house for this thing. You know, that's going to get attention. It's like the $100 million gold leaf burger or whatever in New York. It's not $100 million, but it's a lot. Yeah, Miles says, I've noticed that big Insta influencers, I'll come back to that in a sec. The third thing it's going to do is it's going to anchor price, right? By having something which is really expensive, you make all these other things look much, much better value. So if you started off with the £300, £500 birthday cake, and then you had some options for $250, some options for $150, some options for $60. Like, I could probably go into the local average cake store and get something for 60 quid, which doesn't look half as good as this. So I'd think about charging a little bit more. It's going to allow you to start scaling the business, because at the moment, I'm betting these take you a good amount of time, and there's probably not much left after you've paid for yourself and the product. Probably not a scalable business at this point with these prices. So I'd think about pushing things a little bit. You will justify. If anyone can justify £500 cake, it is you. Charge what you're worth. So yeah, and then that's obviously going to open up loads more paid ad channels for you as well, because you're going to be able to pay lots more per acquisition once you know that you've got higher cost per sale. You're not the sort of business that really wants to go negative on the first order, i.e. spend 40 quid getting someone to buy their first cake, knowing that you're going to make it up in the back end, because that's going to send you cash flow negative. You probably don't have, like, unless you're sitting on investment, you're probably not going to be wanting to buy 15 customers a day, losing 50 quid per customer, knowing that in 3 months' time you're going to have a thriving business, because you're going to be dead by then. So you kind of want to make ROI in the first sale. So it's all about getting that first sale, average order value as high as you can. My mom says, I've noticed the big Insta influencers usually want money for posting about your products on social media or blogs, sometimes pretty big money. Yes. As Mark has said, The big influencers will. There's two things to do. Firstly, you don't need to go for the biggest ones. It's a myth that the ones with the biggest audiences are the best ones. I would be going here for some like mid-level vegan influencers with, they're going to have 5 figures of followers, not 6 figures of followers. The other thing is, you don't even need to ask for a post. Just ask if you can send them the product. Tell them that you love what they've been doing. You'd love to send them something. They're not going to say no. Even if they don't post about it, but let's be honest, they're going to post about it. If someone sends you this with your dog or your cat on the top, you're going to post about it. You would set up an Instagram specifically to post about it. So yeah, I'd not be too put off by that. Okay, yeah. So that's what I do with this. I love this. Just kill it for me, Sarah. Kill it for me. I love it. Okay, we don't really have that much time left. We've got 5 minutes left, and I've got a whole bunch more sites I wanted to go through. What I'm going to do is check through to see... No, let's do one more. We're going to do this one, which is Time Warp Tees. So I think this is a competitor of one of our viewers, and they submitted this. They want to know how to beat this site. Now, tees the 90s needed. A lot of this feedback is actually going to be relatively similar to with Tiny Sarah's cakes, in that this is about first sale. This is about maximizing value of first sale, getting first sale as cheap as possible. Repeat business may or may not be a thing here, but we don't want to rely on it being a thing. So we need to maximize the value that we're getting first sale. Now, we've only got a few minutes, so I'm just going to take you to the stuff I noticed. I noticed that, for example, their ranking for Will Smith t-shirt, Louis Theroux t-shirt. Now, that's a search that I know you didn't expect that you'd be learning about. TLC t-shirt, Louis Theroux t-shirt, Will Smith t-shirt, right? We want to maximize profit first sale because we don't know if we're going to get another one. People probably aren't coming on here and ordering 50 Will Smith t-shirts or ordering a Will Smith t-shirt per month. I might be wrong. I don't think they probably are. This is going to make, potentially, it makes Google shopping difficult because the product cost isn't, the product price isn't that high, so there's not a huge amount of profit. £25 a t-shirt, I mean, they're not going to be costing loads to make. There might be £20, gross profit per product. But still, that can make Google shopping challenging. However, the cost per click is very low, so it's worth a test. Organic visibility will be great for this because obviously it's not costing you anything for those people. So Britney Spears t-shirt, reasonable search volume. Louis Theroux, what? Hold on, what? Louis Theroux t-shirt, 1,300 searches a month. Britney Spears t-shirt, 390. Have I completely misunderstood how the world works? Louis Theroux t-shirt, 1,300 searches a month. Unless someone has been wearing a Louis Theroux t-shirt, he is a cult icon. Okay, fine. Right. Okay. Cool. So, a couple of things. There's people selling t-shirts at a way lower price and it actually looks pretty much like the same product for about £10 less. So that makes Google shopping even tougher than trying to make profit on a £5 product. That makes it very tough if you're not price competitive. So I would think about that. I would also think about the fact that this site looks super basic and actually doesn't look particularly good at all. So if I'm going to be selling at a higher price than everyone else, how do I tell people that this is going to be better than everyone else? So let's increase, this is completely throwing me that so many people are into Louis Theroux t-shirts. Let's increase the organic visibility of this by getting some more content about Louis Theroux. This is where we could add some personality. We could talk about how Louis is the cult hero, and let's have some pictures of people who are wearing Louis Theroux t-shirts like that. She Classic Louis III fan. There's another one. Okay, cool. Right. We're going to wrap this up. We need to increase organic visibility for this, and we'll come back to this site another time because we are out of time. I hope you've enjoyed this. We've got some new videos coming very soon. I'm really excited for you to see. We've reverse engineered the Peloton digital marketing strategy, Peloton, the exercise bike. We've also done some stuff on lead generation, e-commerce businesses, how you can reverse engineer your competitors' sales funnels. Really excited for you to see that stuff. So that is all coming over the next few weeks. So make sure you're subscribed to the Exposure Ninja channel. Hope you've enjoyed this. Tune in next week on the Exposure Ninja channel. We'll be live again at 10:30 on Friday morning. If you want to submit your site for feedback, then please use the URL, the questionnaire URL that's linked at the top of this live chat. And I'll see you all next week.